Hi there, this is Paige, who is Stamp Girl here on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm sharing with you the projects I made for the Use It Up 2020 challenge. This is hosted by Beth, who is Bourbon Creek Crafts here on YouTube, and there are several of us that are using up our stash throughout the month. I'd like to also do a special project just for this challenge, and so that's what I'm sharing with you today. And if you look for the hashtag UseItUp2020, you'll be able to find those videos. So I pulled out a Stampin' Up medley called Everything is Rosy. And was this from 1 or 2 years ago? I can't remember. But it came with a ton of stuff, just lots of papers. It came with ribbons. It came with die cuts and embellishments. I think it came with a little ink spot, if I remember correctly. Stamps and dies. It even came with some ink, I believe. Let me think about that. I think it did. And that's way up high on a shelf, so I'm not going to pull that down. But anyway, I used all the paper. I used all the embellishments. I have some ribbon left. I have the little ink spot left. I have the ink left, if that's what came with it. And I just had fun making all kinds of cards. So here's the stamp set. And then it also comes with dies. And so whenever possible, I try to keep my stamps and coordinating dies in the same case. If the dies don't really have anything to do with the images on the stamp set, then I store them separately. Or if the die set is too big to fit in a case, I store them separately and label them. So anyway, everything is rosy. So I first of all went through and just made a bunch of cards, and these are the horizontal cards. I pulled out some different embellishments from my stash. I popped some things up. I paired up some patterns. I also pulled in various stamp sets for the sentiments. And I'm not going to pull all of those out because they're put away and it would take me forever to find them. But I always tried to use a little scrap on the inside of the cards whenever possible. These were some little copper or rose gold mirror dots from the kit, and I'm so proud of myself for using them all up. It was hard to do. They're kind of hoard-worthy. On this one, I used some of this rose metallic thread, and it didn't come in the kit. I purchased this in a D-stash, and I wish I would have pulled it out sooner. I didn't think about it right away because I just love it. It's subtle, and you probably can't see it on camera, but it's there, and it's just so delicate and pretty. So, horizontal cards. I like top folding cards, so I have this one, You Are My Happy, and I don't think I did anything particularly exciting on the insides other than to use scraps, so I won't show the insides, but I've got You Are My Happy, Thinking of You, You're the Best. Here's one of the die cuts that I used on the foil paper that came in the kit. This was one of the labels that came in the kit. It already had the foiling around the edges. Some more of those mirrored dots that I love so much. A lot of these cards are similar in design. Here's another one of those labels that came in the kit that had the foiling along the edges. And then this is another one where I use the little threads. You probably can't see it, but up close and personal, it's there. It's really pretty. And there is another one. Then, what to show next? I love to make fun fold cards, so I made several of these, and I'm not going to open them all up because it's just kind of a pain to get the belly band back on with on camera. So these little pieces that I die cut were all from scraps, and so the full die didn't fit on any of my scraps, so I just die cut little corners and bits and pieces wherever I could to get some of the little leafy branches cut out. And then this is a fun fold where this folds up like this. You could also do the card like this. So you can orient it any way that you want. So I have that one. I have this one. And you can see that this used up a lot of paper. I have that one, this one, and another one like that. Excuse me. And then I did a couple fun folds. So this is a floating box card. I'm sure that's not the name. I just can't think of what it is. But this was a design that I cased from Sam, who is Mixed Up Craft. And I've made these cards before. I guess what the case was the larger size. And also to use this acrylic strip right here, a window sheet strip, so that the design looks like it's floating in the front of the card. And then some more of those delicate threads. And then this one says, enjoy your special day. So when I get around to using it, here's some of those mirror dots, I will just put, cut out a white panel, write or stamp my message, and glue it to the back side. So there's that one. And then there is this fun fold card, again from Sam, who is Mixed Up Crafts. I like that she does larger size cards. You know, here in the US we do A2, and I kind of get stuck with that. But I do enjoy making 6x6 size cards, and I'm learning to enjoy 5x7 cards a lot, and also slimline cards. But this was one of her card designs, and she makes a lot of cards that are specifically made to display, and that's always kind of fun too. So as you can see, this one used up a lot of paper. So after making all of these different kinds of cards, I obviously was down to scraps. So I made a lot of scrappy cards. So I've got a few like this. I pulled out the Wreath Builder stamp and die set from Stampin' Up. I use the dies mostly, the berries and the leaves and the little bow. And again, just scraps on the inside for a little interest there. So I've got a couple of those. I added some of the rhinestones, the champagne rhinestones, I believe they were. Here's some more of those mirrored dots. You're simply wonderful. Have a couple of those. Here are my scraps are getting a little bit narrower in size, and so I backed them with some of the foil paper that I was hoarding from this kit. I put ribbon at the top and bottom of this sentiment strip, and I used a 3/8 circle punch on some of the foil to make those little dots. And then my scraps were getting smaller, and so I have these little scrappy pieces, and I didn't have any foil left large enough to make a full-size layer behind these squares, so I just did a shorter piece in the back. Put a little mirror dot in the O of hello. And I've got a couple of those. Just trim the scraps down to size, and then just rearrange the patterns a little bit with what I had left. And then some smaller scraps that only had enough to go across the bottom of a card. So again, I pulled out the Wreath Builder die set from Stampin' Up, and here I added some clear rhinestones. And I got 3 of those. And then some more scrappy cards. And let's see, a few of those. A little ribbon knot in the center of that little quilt-like square. And this one. And then this wasn't the last card that I made, but it was one of the last cards. This is the piece that all the little mirror circles came from. And it is cracked in one spot, but it didn't break all the way across. And I just thought it was so cool. So I made sure that I incorporated it into a card. I don't know, it's just fun, something different. So behind it is some pattern paper, and then another pattern paper here, and then this is a square that I embossed with the swirly background embossing folder. So there's that. So I didn't, as I went, I didn't count all the cards. I believe it was 39 that I wrote down in my notebook for this set. 36 or 39, I can't remember exactly, but it was a lot. It was all of this. So much fun to do. Loved the paper, loved the kit, really wanted to hoard it forever, but I also really appreciate Beth's challenge to use it up as well. So anyway, I'd like to thank you for joining me, and now I'm off to create.